Let's go. What's going on, everybody? We are back with another Hoop Sense. We're not like two a days. These are two a week, but it feels like we're in locked in mode with the
Playoffs?
playoffs. That's right. That's right. How we doing, Trey?
I'm good, man. No complaints, dude.
Yeah.
None for me.
Make it through the week. We're good. We got some weekend playoff basketball. I like that we like 3 games a night, Monday through Friday, and then the weekend we get like the full 4 game slates, which have been it's been fun to just constantly have good basketball on. I have noticed though it has gotten a little bit more physical out there. We've been like dealing with some crazy injuries so far. Just the physicality seemed to get like ramped up.
Yeah, I mean, I like it, man. I like that the refs aren't calling anything. They're just letting them play.
Mm.
And that's needed, man. Because like some of that stuff, man, come like it just unnecessary. It dictates the game, the flow of the game,
Mm-hmm.
and I just really don't be feeling that. So I'm kind of glad it went the direction that it's supposed to go.
Yeah, I'm with you too. I like it. I like that's the biggest like difference that I'm seeing from like watching a regular season game to a postseason game is the flow of it, right? It feels like there's less stoppage and stuff. I'm curious to see like how they do. So game 3 of Golden State and Houston is tonight. That if we see it be called a little bit differently just after, because like we've had some crazy injury stuff early. Like obviously Jimmy Butler. We'll see if he's. Oh no, that's not tonight. Tomorrow night. To see if he's going to be good to go. We just saw John Morant go down last night. Tatum's now looks like he's going to miss his second game. So just a ton of injuries from the physicality stuff. Do you think, like specifically with this Houston Golden State after the Jimmy stuff, do you think it gets called a little bit differently just to try
No,
to no
no,
same?
no. I again, these are basketball plays. These aren't intentional fouls. We're not on like some 90s basketball movie where they try to
Right.
injure the player and then they go on about the way. Obviously, I didn't love how Ja got hurt, but it was definitely a basketball play. Dort fell. And it just happened that he happened to get undercut and fall the way he fell. So it's unfortunate. But it comes with the game, and it dictated the series because they might not win a game at all, and that was their game to win.
Yeah, I totally agree. I can't believe the way that ran out was crazy because I was pretty impressed. I mean, I guess we can talk with like Memphis Thunder here for a second, just because we probably don't need to talk about it too long. I was pretty impressed how Memphis like fought back because after those first 2 games, man, I thought it was curtains. I thought they were just going to roll over and to come out there and just like really punch OKC in the mouth in that first half. Like everybody was flying high. So it was a tough way for that season to end because I can't imagine one job plays in game 4 and that Memphis has much of a fight, like you said, after you blow a 20 whatever point lead.
I think he wants to play. I
Yeah.
think it depends on how serious it is, you know what I mean? And also Memphis staff, like medical staff, considering if it's even worth it. I mean, because that's another thing. All players want to play, but like, is he able to? And
Right.
is it at the fold of things to even consider him throwing him back out there just for an elimination game to drag it out a little bit more?
How do you think Memphis like looks at this offseason? Do you think that we'll see the same core of Memphis next season, or do you think we'll see a little bit of a shakeup after most likely going out in 4 or 5 games? And
Oh, they're gonna have to do something.
yeah,
Like, I think that team peaked whenever they were competing, right before all the other stuff happened off the court with Ja. They had reached their, pinnacle. But like at the end of the day, Triple J, I don't know. My buddy of mine said that he needs to find his way to the Kings so he can play with Domantas Sabonis,
oh,
so he doesn't have to rebound and he can do all the other finesse stuff. But
yeah,
that's not how basketball works. You're required to do things to help your team win. And for him to be an all-star, it doesn't sit well with me as far as like his play in the postseason. You know what I mean? It's just not there. You know what I mean? So yeah, I don't technically know. I mean, I mentioned that maybe they moved Ja, but like, where do you go from there? Because that guy's filling up seats. He's helping the economy of Memphis, the city of Memphis. You know what I
yeah.
mean? So like, at the end of the day, why would you part ways with that type of player? But they're not winning either.
Yeah, it's hard. I'm sure it must be like super deflating for the front office and for like the team themselves because you really just a couple years ago were like, wow, this team is going to be a problem for like the next few years, and we really haven't seen it happen. We haven't seen they've had some fun playoff series, but we haven't seen like the hype that I think everybody thought was going to happen. But I'm kind of with you too. Like when you get rid of Ja, like it's hard to get a player like Ja. It's not like you can just make one move and you're like, okay, well, we'll get rid of Ja and we'll get Trae Young back or something like that. I don't know if that necessarily fixes anything. So I hope they're able to just like retool around him. But I'm with you on the Triple J stuff. When Ja was out, I thought he was very aggressive and he looked like a different player for like a month stretch. That is not what we're seeing in the playoffs. We're seeing like FIBA World Cup Triple J, like where he kind of disappears for times. Like we can't.
Nah, man, he's I don't know. I think he on vacation mode.
Yeah,
What I mean? At this point,
flights are ready.
Yeah, after that one game that they got blasted, it was like, okay, cool. But now going down 3-0.
Yeah, it's done. Like that was, you're right. Like that was the game they could get. And for OKC to come back and you rip their heart out. There was one more thing on the physicality thing that I wanted to talk about before we move on. I forget who said, maybe it was like Zach Lowe. I forget who said it, but they were breaking down the foul calls between and this is before last night's game, so not including game 3. But Jalen Brunson had drew 25 foul calls in that series against Detroit to Steph, who only drew 6 foul calls, which just seems kind of crazy for there to be that big of a discrepancy. I know they're a different type of player, and Jalen Brunson's been on his Oscar award winning stuff with some of those acting, but
I mean the people have turned. They've turned, man. They don't want to see it. It's just not great basketball to watch. It's last night felt like almost a 90s playoff basketball game.
It did.
I was talking to Larry Drew II, and he was just like, I love this. And I was like, yeah, no, it's really good. And, the energy was right there for Pistons fans. And it really was competitive until, obviously the very end. You know what I mean? They had that bad inbounds play with, I'm not sure what was going on in that situation. Having
weird
during takeout. And I haven't watched many Pistons games to say he can't be an inbounder or not, but like,
that's tough.
Yeah, I don't know. Because even still, if he's not the inbounder and he puts him closer to the rim, that removes, the big away, the big away from the inbound.
Right.
And maybe you get a better look, but maybe it was just overcoached and overthought in that scenario. So we'll see. We'll see what's going on.
I want to give Cat a little bit of love just for bouncing back after that weird game 2 where I think he only took 10 shots and he looked better. But man, I don't know if you saw this play last night. Cade back down or like got by OG. I think dropped OG and Cat slid over and met him up at the rim. And I was like, man, if you had told me Karl Anthony Towns was saving OG's ass on the defensive end, I would have never no, that's not that. You would have thought it was flipped, right? And I thought that showed some pretty tough resiliency from Cat again, because we've seen some weird playoff games from him in the past, and for him to have a tough one, because the city of New York would have, like, the media would not have been kind to them, I think, if they dropped that game to Detroit. And
let me jump in there and defend Cat. Cat didn't have a bad game. Cat didn't get the ball, and it's not being used. And I think that's the thing. Like, who's the true best player on this team? Sure, if Jalen Brunson's that guy, but he ices out so many of his teammates when he starts to try to will them to victory or a comeback or push the lead further. And it's kind of like, you live by Brunson, you die by Brunson kind of game. He's going to take high volume shots, but in the situation, you got Cat being a corner boy. He's not used as much, and most people going to look at the stats and say, "Oh, he had 0 points," but it's like, come on, man.
You got to get in the ball.
That's Tibbs or Brunson, or what I mean. And the same thing when you think about OG and all those other guys, like, they have to get the ball in order to make to be effective, you know what I mean? To make people be honest. And if they don't have to guard them, they have to guard them. If, Brunson's taking ill-advised shots, tough contested, like in the paint, step back, one leg, mid-range joints that he can make. He can make them, you know what I mean? Like, but they're not just like high percentage shots where it's like, oh, that's what he do. And that's what we're going to roll with. And, they got the victory on the road, which was a tough win, but overall, I mean, this is going to go down to the wire. I had the series going 6 or 7, but you never know.
Yeah, you never know. I mean, I'm with you. Like Cat to me is the biggest advantage they have in this series because like Duran can hang with them. I know they've thrown like Tobias Harris on him a couple of times, but Cat's like so talented offensively. I feel like he can get whatever he wants, whether he's bringing the big out and knocking down triples or whether he's going by him. So I'm right there with you. I was glad to see he was utilized a little bit more. And you're right. Like that is. I mean, he probably shares some responsibility, but Brunson's going to get him the ball. Tibbs is going to like make sure he's orchestrating that so he gets the ball. But I'm with you too. I think it's going to be a long series, and Detroit's tough, man. And shout out to Detroit, like for everybody likes to have that same conversation where they don't have the playoff experience to be out there. They blew game 1, but then came back and held on in game 2 on the road. They were fighting last night. Tim Hardaway Jr. was knocking down some shots last night. He looked good. So yeah, shout out to Detroit. Hopefully the first playoff series of many for them in the next couple of years. I know we were talking about a lot of dudes getting hurt. We got one guy back, Damian Lillard. I mean, that's like a miraculous comeback to have dealing with a blood clot and then only miss like 4 or 5 weeks or whatever that ended up being. But man, the energy in Milwaukee looks rough right now. How are you feeling about those Bucks?
I just think the Pacers are just rolling at the right time, dude. Like, again, we talked about it in the previous episodes about them trending up, their confidence. They feel like they can beat them. A nice little friendly, I don't even call it a rivalry yet.
No.
But, obviously these two teams and a few players don't really get along.
We need more of that. Love that.
But it's good for the sport, and also just like the Pacers got their number.
They do, man. And they get dogs. Like they're out there out hustling them left and right. They're defending their asses off. And again, it's so funny because I think when people think of the Indiana Pacers, if you weren't watching them this season, you just like, oh yeah, they score 150. Like that's how they win games. But no, they're defending. And I was a little bit nervous about Siakam going into the playoffs because he had like a dinged up elbow. He's looked good. Halliburton found a shot in game 2. I almost want Milwaukee to win this game tonight to just put up a little bit of a fight, only because I'm nervous about the Giannis.
They may. I don't think it's a sweep. I don't think that. I think that this has a potential to go either 5 or 6. You know what I'm saying? And like, obviously, there's conversation about Giannis, which I think is unfair to have while the series is going on. Like, I think that's the easy cop out and distraction to say like, oh, he's unhappy there or this and that and the third. I know they really need a huge effort from Kyle Kuzma.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I don't know what's going on with that situation, but the Bucks just have to play better, and they have a chance to defend themselves, in home court and kind of do their thing. But yeah, it's all up to them. You know what I mean? If they want to compete tonight, you think about Dame and you think about Giannis, they're going to compete until they can't. So you can't put this on Doc Rivers. Those players have to go out there, and it looks like the Pacers just been out there trying to punk them.
Yeah, and Milwaukee needs somebody else, like you said, whether it's Kuzma or Brook Lopez. I mean, they got a 28-14 game out of Bobby Portis and still didn't feel like they had a shot in it. But the conversation switches so fast. Though, like they win a game in Milwaukee, and then all of a sudden they're like, well, if they win game 4 now, if they win game 4, momentum is back in Milwaukee's side. Indiana's going to be nervous now. So it could shift so quickly. But and I'm like, I just like Giannis in Milwaukee. So I want them to get the W so everybody like chills out with that conversation because I'm with you. It's too early. It's only 2-0. If it's 3-0, the conversation can get started. We got to do some shout outs from this past week because we finally start getting some awards here. The Draymond Green media campaign did not fully get there. Evan Mobley, Defensive Player of the Year.
I'm not gonna lie, I was shocked. I mean, we gave him a shout out, while he was in the conversation as being one of the finalists. But I mean, I guess you gotta credit that. You know what I mean? That was one of those things that I really thought Dyson Daniels was gonna get. But the Hawks were bottom 5 on defense, so.
It's
I
tough.
mean, well deserved for Evan Mobley. Shouts to him. I mean, the Cavs are having a great year. Still hard to grasp my mind about them winning it all, but if there's a year, this is the year for them. So
the door's open.
Yeah. Oh man, that would be crazy. I'm not gonna lie because. Yeah,
and somebody pointed out this morning, Evan Mobley now set to make a little bit more money too. All of a sudden, it
Oh
becomes a little bit of a
yeah,
more expensive contract after that award. So it's good,
absolutely,
good for him.
absolutely. I feel like I was on a roll. You know what I mean? We got Jalen Brunson winning Clutch Player of the Year, and then you
Mm-hmm.
got Peyton Pritchard winning Sixth Man of the Year. Those were my two picks for that.
Yep.
But yeah, for the Mobley, shout outs to him. I definitely had Daniels. And then the Clippers wall, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
One of the best arenas. Amin got a chance to, he made a post about as much as he's been covering the Clippers since he's been, on the journalist side, he's never seen an atmosphere like that.
That's cool.
And the fans have showed up, you know what I mean, into the Intuit Dome. You know what I mean? They're there. They had, at the wall, they had the horse heads,
It's crazy.
super animated, and that's credit to Ballmer and his entertainment team,
Mm-hmm.
to get that experience and that atmosphere into a peak playoff experience. You know what I mean? When you go there, you know what I mean? So I really love that for them. And they're playing well, man. I
Man,
mean,
they look awesome right now. Oh, and also one other thing about Steve Ballmer, I'm pretty sure, and maybe the chat can correct me if I'm wrong, that Ballmer kept the tickets pretty cheap too for some of those sections for like the
yeah,
wall. And I love that. I love that because so many times like it
that's
gets
the true
hyped up.
passion, though. You get somebody in that spot, they gonna go all out for you, man. You
That's
know what I'm
right.
saying?
That's right. But that you were just saying the Clippers look awesome. Kawhi looks like incredible. We haven't seen this Kawhi, I don't know, since the finals, maybe. I know he's had like
I
flashes of
mean,
it, but he looks
everybody
healthy.
gave him I think a lot of people owe him an apology, because of the Olympic stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And then obviously he had a slow start. He didn't get a chance to, be a part of the early half of the season. And the Clippers figured it out. I think that was the tail signs of, hey, this Clippers team is going to be actually good because everybody else built confidence. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Norman Powell had an
Great
amazing
game
regular
last night.
season. You know what I mean? Potentially that could be all-star campaign. Zubac had a crazy year. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? He's a two-way guy right now. And then James Harden's been amazing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I owe James an apology because I didn't think he was going to be an all-star this year, and he's just turned up his play even more and more and more and more and more. And obviously has a cool campaign with his shoes and things of that nature. But they are kicking the Nuggets' ass.
They are.
Like, up and down the court, and it's showing. And people questioned if Jokic ever showed emotion or he cared. He was chewing his team out.
Mm-hmm.
Like, they are playing so well that he's responding to his team in the point of challenging them to actually compete.
Yeah. I mean, the Clippers are just so much better than them. Like they couldn't miss last night. They're defending their asses off. Like, and you mentioned Zubac, dude, he's slowing Jokic down. Like, I know Jokic had a
Mhm.
triple double last night, but these are not like the normal Jokic. Like, Jokic is working very hard, and
Yeah.
and it's because Zubac is a threat offensively, but also because he's holding his own defensively too. And I owe the Clippers an apology myself. I really like when they moved off of Paul George. I was looking at their roster. And I'm like, I'm sure they'll be feisty, but I was like, there's 8 seed, 9 seed, 10 seed. Like I thought
Mhm.
they'd be in the play in, and for them to like, I mean, OKC. Like we think that OKC finishes off Memphis and the Clippers are able to finish off Denver, I like that's going to be a really fun matchup, and I think like the Clippers are built tough enough to like give OKC a little threat. I know everybody's been saying like the Thunder don't have any playoff experience, and once they get tested, they'll fall over. I mean, that will be the test. The Clippers will be the test for sure.
All right, so we got a playoff series. You got the Grizzlies getting swept against the Thunder, correct?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay, Rockets Warriors.
I mean, I picked initially Rockets in 7. If Jimmy's good to go, like what do you think we see Jimmy this weekend?
Absolutely. He's not
Yeah.
going out like that.
I I think if Jimmy's good, I'm probably
It
with
was
you.
it was a no breaks or nothing like that. It was negative. I mean, I
Yeah.
think his mobility thing, and he's gonna try to give it a go. He's probably got tons of heat packs. He's probably resting,
Yeah.
kind of getting into the pool and doing the things that needs to get to that point. If we don't see him this game, we're gonna see him the following game.
Yeah. I think I think if Golden State I mean, this isn't a hot take, but if Golden State holds home court, like Houston's in trouble. So I think Houston has to win this one, and then we'll see. But yeah, I think I lean Houston. What about you?
I'm going Golden State
Golden
still.
State.
Golden State, man. I like the Rockets, like Ime, like the the admin, the competitiveness that they're bringing. Steph gonna compete, man. Gonna
Yeah.
compete.
How about that
Uh,
Tyree Eason towel throw? Did you see that?
yeah, I seen it.
A+ stuff, man. It was
Yeah.
accurate. Got him right in the face. Good stuff.
hmm Lakers Wolves.
Dude, LeBron's finally looking like he's 40, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, he's trying out there, but the offense has slowed down. I feel like Minnesota, we're about to see a big Naz Reid performance after him getting in foul trouble. I don't know. I think I kind of lean. I initially had picked the Lakers, but I like what I'm
I
seeing.
want that series to go 7. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah. I think it could. I think it could. Like Luka's going to win a game or two on his own, and if LeBron shows up offensively, then it could change things. But I don't know. Minnesota just looks like they're flying around. They look so much bigger than them.
hmm Yeah, I mean, again, they shot well, they played well. Kudos to the Lakers making adjustments. JJ got his team ready, fired
Mhm.
up after that first game, and they responded really well. And I think they're going to continue to compete and show up. I
Mm.
don't see them having constant bad games, but Minnesota will be ready as well. So
Yeah.
I can't wait to see how that pans out. I really
Yeah, I'm
want
excited
7
for that
games of
one.
that series. Um, and then obviously we talked about the Nuggets Clippers. Who you got on that one?
Yeah, it's Clippers. I don't know
Clippers
if
in
it,
5.
yeah, I think so. I think that was a real rollover game last night. I don't know. Maybe Jokic comes out in game 4 and flips the script a
Nah, I
little
think
bit, but
Jokic is gonna hoop for
yeah,
sure, but it's his teammates that
yeah,
have to step up and compete for that one. Cavs Heat
yeah. It's over.
sweep.
Yeah. It's
They're calling out. They're calling out. Pick on Tyler
yo. That
Hero.
was crazy. To
Uh,
say that to the media, that's wild.
that's great.
I
I
know.
mean, if you feel that confident to add that fuel to the fire, then I love it. You know what I mean? And it's healthy nature. It's not anything to go about that way. But yeah, that's playoff basketball, and I like that energy. They're being aggressive versus being calm and collected.
Yeah.
They
One
earned
thing
they earned it. They
they
earned it.
did, they did. And one thing about Miami, just to give them some positivity. I thought Davion Mitchell's been pretty nice for them down the
hmm
stretch. And he's like, I always knew that he could defend, but he's doing a little bit more offensively and like
Yeah,
creating a little bit. And so that is a bright spot. I don't know if he's going to be long for Miami, but bright spot for him moving forward. I think he found a role.
yeah, no, for sure. Man, I really want my Magic to at least get one game. I don't know how it's gonna look. The Celtics, with no JT, still managed to pull it off.
Yeah.
Porzingis with the bloody face.
That was good.
Like it's all a drama added to it, but like, sure,
What
we might get one.
what's going on with Franz right now with that jumper?
It's cold, man. Got to
Yeah.
find it some other way.
I mean, because he's still scoring. Like he can still get to the rack and he cuts well. But there was 1 3 he
I'm just
took.
going to credit the Celtics defense, man. They're just
Yeah,
making it difficult for these guys to get the normal shots that they look, man. But overall, I don't want to make the excuse and say the young team. KCP got to be better as the vet on the
yeah,
team,
he does
and then obviously, Suggs' presence is missed solely.
so
So,
much. Yeah,
I mean, I think that's a whole nother conversation. But yeah, man, hopefully we can get one. I don't want to get swept, but
I think it'd be tonight. If you get one, I think it's tonight. Only because most likely no Tatum, and then Drew Holiday's questionable too.
mhm.
I don't know if Jaylen Brown can do another 30 and 10 game. Like back to back. He looks great though. If there were, as a Celtics fan, I know everybody was like concerned about his knee. Concerns met. I think he's good. But
Yeah.
for Orlando, man, Paolo, like if you want glass half full for Orlando, Paolo looks awesome.
No,
Like
he's
he's
been playing great, but again, basketball isn't played with one on five.
right.
You can have the stats, but you still got to defend. You still got to get stops. You still got to get other people involved to add to that. You know what I mean? The final score isn't 33-31. You know what I mean? It's a
Yeah.
long game. So shout out to him playing good, but you know what I mean? That's a
Yeah.
moral victory for us.
Do you think for Orlando, not to like talk about you could still come back in the series. Do you think they have to do like a big sweeping move this offseason, or is it still like just kind of
Nah, they need to
fixing
get a
things around
point
the
guard,
edges?
bro.
Yeah.
They need to get a point guard, bro. Like just
Yeah.
get some point guard depth. That's what I say. I like Suggs at the one still, but get some point guard depth
Sure.
because he's been MIA, missing in action, injury
Mhm.
wise for a while, and then If he can land something like that, then that's cool. But outside of that,
Do you think would you prefer like a big name, like if Trey gets thrown around there, Ja, or is it more of these like Scottie Pippen Jr., Tyus Jones type?
yeah, I'm cool with a tier 2, tier 3.
Yeah,
Honestly, just somebody safe that you can trust. You know
yeah,
what I mean? Getting into that situation. So
yeah. And then you're right, like KCP needs to hit some shots. That's why they brought him in there, and he is. Yeah, he should be thanking Kyle Kuzma because otherwise we might be talking about KCP stat line.
this is true. Knicks Pistons. I got Knicks in 6.
Yeah, same. Me too.
Yeah, I think it's a spot to just Pistons gonna get one here and it'll be 2-2, and then
Bang
from
bang.
there it'll be one of those joints that goes through there. And then Pacers Bucks.
5.
Okay, you got them getting one at least.
Yeah.
Solid. For the next man, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say, so like looking at the East, so assuming we kind of both have Knicks and both have like Pacers, do you think either of those teams can upset, whether it's Pacers and Cavs or Knicks and Celtics?
Pacers, maybe.
Yeah.
Just because, like I said, they're like one of the hottest teams in the East. Like, they trending up, man. Like, that's a team you don't want to play, but
Yeah.
you just never know. They can punch you in the mouth because right now, like, despite the Bucks having, I don't think Giannis the best player on the floor. Clearly, it's not enough.
No, and it hasn't even felt threatening. Like I know a couple of those games have gotten close, but at no point I was like, "Oh, here comes Milwaukee. They got this." I'm with you.
And pace wise, if the Knicks ever matched up with the Pacers, they
cooked.
Yeah,
I'm with the Knicks and the Celtics too. Like I don't know. Maybe it gets to the point where everybody's written off the Knicks because they haven't beaten anybody in the regular season. I still think they can. Like their 5 can match up with a lot of people. It's just will they be able to defend? Like can they defend for a series? That'll be it. But I'm with you. I think the Pacers would probably be the closest to giving somebody a scare, but it really does feel like it's just Cleveland Boston collision course.
Hey, sometimes we can be right, sometimes we can be wrong. I mean, again, we didn't expect any of these injury stuff to happen to Ja and Jimmy, so you just never know in playoff basketball, and one injury can dictate a whole domino effect in shifting a team to win it all.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like that's how crazy the NBA playoffs is. So I won't get too crazy. I think it's wide open for everybody to actually
especially with Tatum missing a couple of games. Like who knows if this is going to keep lingering, then that really changes the Celtics outlook.
Yeah, 100%. All right, next man up, Jalen Green. Balled out, showed up, answered. A lot of people were questioning the backcourt. I don't like dumping on players, man, after one bad game, especially in the playoffs, man. Adjustments are made, and sometimes you get the overall bruff of the thing of maybe being overguarded. And sometimes it just takes for your teammates to make shots to free things up and for you. And then they have to be honest. And, that was a huge must-win game for them.
Big time.
Because if they're down 2-0, I don't know if we're having this conversation about them actually considerable to actually win a series, you know what I mean? Like you picked them. But now, like, eyebrows are raising a little bit. Maybe Draymond has a little motivation not winning DPOY. And everybody else is kind of stepping up and going from there. You know what I mean?
Well, I think that to me, that was what the good sign was for Houston after game 1 is they still kept the game relatively competitive with their guards going like 2 for 40 or whatever it was. Like because Freddie hasn't been knocking, and Fred didn't knock anything down in game 2 either. So they're going to need him, I think, at some point. But you're right. The overreaction after one game. I mean, Jalen Green was a tough game 1. And you never know how people are going to respond to that. So I was happy for him just because he got dumped on for like 48 hours. And then to come back 38 points is no joke in a playoff game, in a playoff win, mind you. So I'm excited. That's probably the series I'm most excited about. It's some gross basketball. It's some real physical, slow stuff, but some insane shot making. There was a stretch in that game. I think it was like right before halftime where it was like 6 or 7 consecutive made threes, like back and forth. It's like Steph, Jalen. I think Sengun hit one. It was just back, bang, bang, bang. So I'm really excited for that series.
Yeah, man. Absolutely. Man, the hot hand of the week, of this episode.
This part.
It's not the week because we just covered on Monday, but Kawhi is averaging 27 points per game in 3 games against Denver. Looks healthy, playing like Kawhi Jordan. You know what I'm saying? He's, getting to the shots that he wants, just on both ends, defending really well, and his team is supporting him. And definitely the Clippers could be in a scenario to make it past the Nuggets and get them up out of here, and be another tough, tall task for, maybe the Thunder, or
Mhm.
because that's who they're lined up
The
with for
Thunder,
the next
yeah.
one. Oh yeah, I want that series bad.
Right?
I want Thunder Clippers.
I know.
Bring it
Man,
here.
you could even make the case Kawhi's been the best player in the series, like even over Jokic. Like he's been on that game 2 39-point performance was insane. I think he missed like 4 shots the whole game or 5 shots. Just you're right. And not even it's not like he is blown by defenders for like easy buckets. He's hitting tough shots.
Yeah, nah, he's. I mean, are they tough shots? Them shots that he works on. So
True.
I don't know.
I just mean defended. Like they're well defended shots and he's
Yeah,
just
but I mean, it's just like trying to guard a Kevin Durant or Jason Tatum. They become cone drills. Them people not even there.
yeah.
It's muscle memory. You
Yeah.
just there. You know what I mean? And it looked tough. That's a shot that they taking, game speed and
Mhm.
doing and all that other stuff. So it just kind of goes that way. And then you mentioned Jalen Brunson. He scored 30 plus in all 3 playoff games. That could be a good thing and a bad thing, because
True.
at the end of the day, he feels like he has to do that,
Mhm.
and he can overcompensate and shoot himself out of the game. But it's been working in his favor because they are leading the current series against the Pistons. So keep doing what you're doing. I don't know anything. I'm going to just be quiet.
No, I think if they play more like they did last night offensively versus 1 and 2. Games 1 and 2 were pretty concerning, but game like last night, I thought there was a good offensive flow. Like I think they had 4 starters all get over 20 points because Cat got to 30, I think, and then OG carried them in the first half. I think he had 17 in the first half, finished with 22, and then Bridges even got to 20. So that was a little bit more, well distributed and not hero ball. But you're right, 1 and 2 is a little more trying to put the cape on and be a hero.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, man. So we'll see, man. Like I said, I have no right now, it's tough to watch because of the flopping. It's
Yeah.
a lot of soccer in this game, but when he's rolling, he's fun. New York is on fire, and the thing about Knicks fans right now, they'll take the win however they get it. They don't care.
Yeah. I mentioned this on my other show. Like the Celtics celebrities that have been coming out have been like pretty not great. Last
Mhm.
night, Ben Stiller and Timothy Chalamet went to Detroit. They're going to away games now.
Mm.
So you're right. The Knicks fans are on fire for this team.
Oh
They'll
yeah,
take
no, they think this is the team. You know what I mean? If anything, I'm curious to see what they do against your Celtics.
Yeah, I think Celtics in 5 if they're healthy. If the Celtics are healthy.
I knew you. I mean, you ain't gonna pick your team pick down. You don't. You a realist, but you also not about to be like.
No. I mean, Cleveland will be a different story. I think Cleveland will be like a dogfight. The Knicks haven't beaten anybody yet, so you'd have beat us before I start talking.
There you go.
Talking you up there.
Get it off, man.
Us.
Get
I
it
said
off.
us. Like
Mhm.
I'm out there. All right. So for our 30-second timeout, I wanted to bring this up to you because I thought the two reactions were pretty funny. So Houston started an "F you Draymond" chant. And then Steve Kerr and Draymond both talked about it after the game, and Steve Kerr didn't like it and thought it was embarrassing. And Draymond said he's heard word. I forget what Draymond's official response was, but last night they gave an FU. Detroit gave an FU Brunson. And what I loved is Brunson and Cat in the post game were acting like they didn't hear it. They were like, "What chant? What are you saying? What?" And was trying to get the media members to say what the fans were saying.
Mhm.
And my 30-second timeout is more geared towards Steve Kerr and Draymond because I
Mhm.
thought that reaction was corny. Like, sure, you don't want him saying "fuck you," fine. I like you don't. That's not good language for children. Okay, but you can't be the team you've been for the last 6 years and be like, stop yelling at Draymond. Like, come on.
I don't think it's that. I think it was just more so like he taking a book out of Pop's. That Pop would do some shit like that.
Yeah.
Have some respect for the opponent. Don't do all the other stuff. And like, it is what it is, man.
Yeah.
Dre gotta embrace that shit. You know what I mean?
That's what I was surprised he like didn't do it. I thought he would embrace it a little bit more and like that.
Nah, because at this point he don't wanna lean into it where it just fuels the fire. He understands their back is against the wall and they gotta play well. And he just gotta just back it up with play. But like, again, you can't beat a bully or all that other stuff and then be like, oh,
That's what I'm saying.
that's with me. Like, nah, it doesn't work that way. In the
Yeah,
same way he's talking about he influenced Cat to play better. Like,
dude, come on. Come on.
you know.
He's just.
But I get it, man. That's Draymond, man. That's why you gotta love him, man. He's a great, one of the best defensive players this game ever seen. And also knows how to get under fans' skin. And you gotta respect him for that, man. He brings the entertainment part to the basketball. And that's why we pay him top dollar to you know, to add that to it. And the same thing, you know, all those type of archetype players that they're not, I don't say this isn't a comic book, so there's no villains in this sport. But I think that he's just one of those dudes that just is hard nosed and just has a, you know, a very large transparency in the game of, you know, a portal connection to the 90s, 2000s, and now into this current game of something that we may lose.
Yeah, and I think too, like if you're just looking at his box score in this playoffs, you'd be like, oh, Draymond's not really impacting the game, but he really is like their floor general out there, and like their.
I mean, I've never looked at him as a scorer. I mean, I know he could score when he was at Michigan State, but like in his role, he is a star in his role.
Yeah. Well,
you know what I mean?
I just meant too, like he's not even, you're not seeing like high assist numbers, high rebound numbers or anything like that right now, but I don't think it matters just because of the importance he has out there. Like like he's
not paid to do any of those things.
Right.
So that is the bonus. If he makes a three, great. If he makes a putback, great. If he gets a dunk, great. You know, like at the end of the day, Jimmy Butler's doing most of the ball handling now, so he's being pushed off of that. You know what I mean? So he's not in those roles anymore and leaned on. I think that's a good thing because now that keeps him available to focus on other things that he's needed for. So yeah, I don't know. But yeah, I mean, I have no problem with the FU chance. Get over it. Like, you know, use it as motivation, bro.
Also, I love this. I feel like the fans are locked into the playoffs this year a little bit more, right? Here we got FU chance in round one. We've got Halliburton and Dame yelling at each other.
Who said basketball was boring?
That's right. I don't know if it's because it felt like everybody was tanking down the stretch, but this is the happiest I've been watching hoop in a while. Like every game I've been excited about. And like last night, I got to go to bed a little bit early because the Clippers beat the Nuggets by like 55. So I did not have to stay up and watch the rest of that. Was there anything else, any other like storylines or anything we didn't hit that we should touch upon before we?
Nah, not really. I don't think that there is anything. I think just we'll have a different result. We'll be back, obviously, you know, earlier in the week. And then obviously we head to LA to do Hoop Sense Live.
That's right.
At the LA live show, Bomb's last show. Make sure you get your tickets. Cop up, get one for your friend, tell a friend to tell a friend to show up. LA's gonna be great around this time. The weather's good. You can go to the beach. You can go try some great tacos. You can see me and Mike Zakarian talk about basketball and the playoffs. And we're gonna watch some playoff basketball.
That's right. We might have two LA home games. You know?
Here we go.
Will the Lakers and the Clippers be there? We'll see.
We'll see.
We'll see. All right, everybody. Well, thanks for hanging with Hoop Sense. Another episode down. We'll see you guys early next week, or as Trey said, we'll see you in LA.